I'd like to welcome everybody and call to order this March regular meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Education. We need to set the meeting agenda. There's a couple of things we need to adjust. We have some addendum items. One is approving the school calendar. Within 8B, 8C, 8D, and 8E, which is probably not on your paper, but is on your e-meeting, an overnight student trip for the FBLA, high school FBLA to state competition in Louisville. A student trip for Waynesburg Elementary 4th grade to Mammoth Cave on April 13th. Boys basketball to Lexington for Sweet 16 on March 15th, 19th. I hope we have nothing against that. And also 8E cheerleading also to Lexington for the Sweet 16 coming up this week. We will move those items, if there's no objection, to the consent agenda. Everybody good with that? All right, if that's the case, I need a motion to accept the agenda with the changes to the addendum items.
I'll make a motion.
Gloria makes a motion, Ricky seconds. Vote. Gloria?
Yes.
Etta?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Ricky? Yes, sir. I vote yes also. Ms. Benson, do we have any public comment? Superintendent staff reports. Read through those at your leisure. Any questions or comments about any of those? And moving on to our Stlp presentation. Mr. Willems, the floor is yours.
I know most of you know me. My name is Chris Willems, teacher there at Stanford Elementary. We started Stlp, when I say we, Mr. Cole was the other Stlp coach with me. Started 4 or 5 years ago. Took off last year due to COVID, just didn't work out for us. But we've started back this year with a very good group. I'm very proud of them. A few things. We've got 6 4th graders, 10 5th graders on the team. We meet once a week before school, usually on Wednesdays, get there about 7 o'clock in the morning and work till I have to go out for bus duty, and then they all go get breakfast and so on. But very energetic. Some of them come in a little sleepy eyed, but it's a good time. We focus on coding. Using our code, we use some Spiros, which are coding devices. We've even done some basic CAD using Tinkercad, where they can design things and for 3D printing and so on. The newest thing we're using is a Glowforge laser, and we'll show you a little more about that here in a minute. Some of the kids even had opportunity to fly some drones. Just a lot of learning tools there at their hands right now that have been very beneficial to them. Stlp really changed due to COVID. Previously, we would go to regionals at Somerset, and it was all hands-on. We would go down there, take our printers or whatever we were doing, and the judges actually got to see, touch things, got to ask questions and so on. This year, due to COVID, everything shifted. It's gone online. Level 1, we had to do what they call it elevator pitches. And the kids had like 5 minutes, and they had to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. They presented that. Well, with all the schools, you can do 3 different presentations, your choice of different categories. So we did one on tourism. We did one on the laser, how we're learning how to use that, and we did one on our news program. We actually made it to level 2 on all 3 of those events. Unfortunately, I came down with COVID, so I missed a week there that we were going to really focus on the tourism one, so we didn't even get to submit that one. But we did submit one on the other 2, the newscast and the laser, so we're still waiting. So we don't know if we made it to level 3. If so, we will get to go to, it used to be Heritage Hall. I don't know what it's called now, but Central Bank. Yeah, I think that's right. We'll get to go there, and it is truly phenomenal what kids are doing there. Now, that being said, once again, I think it's going to be more video oriented. I don't think they're going to let you pack everything in like we've done in years past. But, we've had a good track record of making it that far. I'm going to check my notes here. Due to all the virtual stuff, we are on a newscast. We're learning how to use teleprompter. which, I thought that's pretty cool. We've got 5th graders and 4th graders able to use a teleprompter and do this new test. We started out a week at a time, trying to do it every week. We bumped it back and different things. It's just because if we do it every week, we don't get to do anything else. We can't do our coding. We can't do other stuff. So we're going to probably do that bi-week or every 2 weeks. So that's what we're looking at there. I have a short video that we put together. I was going to do a voiceover. I just ran out of time. I'll be honest. I'm sorry. But this will give you an idea of some of the stuff that we are doing right now. If Keith will run that. So as you can see, we're doing some pretty interesting stuff there. And I'm tickled to death. We got all these kids. I think I counted 14 out of 16 of our members here tonight. So that shows excitement right there for what we're doing. And that's why I wanted to come. I wanted to share with what we're doing. I'm so proud of these kids. I just wanted you all to see what they're doing. Guys, you'll want to stand up so they can see you there. All of the Stlp members. On the note of the labor, some of them have something they want to give the board members. Y'all can step up there and give that to them. They got to pick the stuff that we're lasering. So they have a voice in that. The profits that we make off this, we turn right around and put back into the program, and it's great. I can't say enough about it. So, and we owe you and I owe you. I'm sorry. That's all right. But I'll have your daughter make it. So. You
can have a bill with my name on it.
But I just want to thank you all. Mr. Rowe's been very instrumental in the value of technology. He's helped us in any way we can, and I couldn't ask for more help there. And Mr. Cole's been a great asset to me. But it's just, I'm tickled to death with him. I just want y'all to see. Do y'all want to say anything? I mean, I know some of you are bashful and don't want to say anything.
Board member comments?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Questions. Somebody's going to ask me what this STLP stands for. And
Student Technology Leadership Program. I don't know how long it's been around. It's been around for a while. Like I said, we started 4 or 5 years ago and been doing it since.
And how are you funded?
Believe it or not. So the stuff you have before you, we have sold those. I don't know if you saw in the picture. We've sold them to police departments, keychains. We've sold the wristlets, especially. Camp Dick Robinson in Gary County bought 75 of those for Christmas gifts. So we pay a certain amount and the profit goes right back in. So we're pretty good profit wise right now, but that's how we sustain what we're doing.
You got room for more kids?
You know, some schools have a full-time STLP. I mean, to be honest, it's a wonderful program. I don't know if funding would be there to sustain something like this, but 15 and 30 minutes or 16 and 30 minutes, that's pushing it for us right now.
No, I think it's a huge benefit to the district. I'd love to see it, incorporated in every school, and just the kids that are learning on different platforms today. They're more creative than we've ever been, and they're going to do things for a living that we can't even think about today, and it's just give them that opportunity to do that. So
example of the excitement. Once we got the laser and got it in, I taught them how to use it, and they'll back me up on this. They would be beating my door down, wanting to come in during class and make stuff. Is that right, guys? Yeah, that's excitement in it. So, it is a neat thing, and they can do it as well as I can, to be honest.
I got to play with the shark that Lucas made, I think.
Yeah.
I was playing with it. It's just really, really
And
good.
that's another thing. Lucas has picked up on the 3D printing we've done here, and he's transferred that to something he's doing at home. So
I'm trying to get him to make me some fishing baits now. I believe we can work it out.
So,
Was an old industrial arts teacher, and I'm aging myself when I say that. The skills you're doing at this level are beyond what I was doing 30 years ago
but
in
technology.
high school. So anyway, I think it's just super cool. Keep it up. Great job.
I just want to say they were wonderful, and thank you for these. I love them.
Yeah.
And I want some for
They chose
Christmas
that. I asked
next
them,
year.
okay, we've got this inventory. What do y'all want to make of it? That's what they picked. So they have a voice in all this stuff we're doing. So.
Mr. Williams, do you receive an extra duty stipend for
No, I do not. I don't really, that's not why I'm in. I do it for this right here. That's,
new person on the board and I didn't know?
no, I do not. But the board has been gracious. Anytime I've ever asked for anything, they come through for me. So.
If you need money when you go to Central Bank, whoever in Lexington for travel and food, just let me know.
And like I said, hopefully we will advance. If we don't, I'd still like to take the kids possibly, because it is such an experience to see. I mean, Rupp-Arena, they get to walk around Rupp-Arena and see stuff they've never seen before. I mean, the STEM, they got a bus being converted over to STEM stuff. It's very, very cool. So,
Thank you very much.
I think.
I'm sorry.
They're getting a parent.
I'm sorry.
One thing before that, because he said they didn't do anything during COVID, which is
Not really
not
true.
totally true. They were very instrumental in making PPE for a
Oh,
hospital.
well, yeah.
Did a lot of great things. I wanted to be applauded for that too.
Yeah.
Any other parent that had comments?
I just wanted to tell you all that, from a parent's point of view, how much I appreciate having Wonder Family, because Lucas is so interested in it. He wants to do it at home, and I have no clue. Like, I am lost. He wanted to order this thing, and he ordered it, and I'm like, I can't even. We call Mr. Williams, he helps him through it, and Luke's trying to make a little business out of it. I mean, he's in 5th grade, and he really knows what he's doing, and when he doesn't, Mr. Williams helps him, and it's just it's beyond me. I have no way to teach him that. I don't know. So what they're doing is so valuable and so appreciated, and I know you put all your time into these kids, and it is so appreciated.
Thanks
Can
again.
each kid to stand up and say their name just so we can.
Sure.
give
If they
them a
will.
little
Some are
recognition.
very bashful. Start them off there, Lily.
My name is Stlp Presentation. My name is Allie Baker. My name is Tina Baker. My name is Ava Grace Todd. My name is Gabe.
Whoa.
That's good.
Lily, go ahead. Not Lily.
My
Layla.
name is Layla Willoughby.
There you go. Sorry.
My name is Jackson Dominic. My name is Charlie Coffey. My name is Sarah Rankin. My name is Colton Marshall. My name is Kipton Hasty. My name is Gabe Gonder. My name is Kiana Gov.
Lukey. Lucas Lawson.
My name is Lucas.
There you go.
Like I said, great job. Good job.
Thank you all.
You're welcome to stay, but I would say some of you probably don't want to. That's okay.
Turn the hair on.
So that's
All of us are.
I want to make one at home too. I want to make a steak.
Thank you all.
I want to make a steak.
How that's Stlp.
Oh, can I say one last thing?
Go ahead.
Wish us luck tomorrow. We're headed to state tournament for archery, so.
Oh, good luck.
So we're traveling there, so. I'm glad we're going tomorrow, not Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
Go ahead and go to the next item on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. Any questions or comments about items on the consent agenda? For our done, I'll accept the motion to accept. Accept a motion to accept the consent agenda. Motion made by Bruce, Etta second, vote, Gloria,
Yes.
Etta,
Yes.
Bruce. Yes. Ricky. Yes, sir. I vote yes also. Comes our action items. Security cameras, Mr. Yaden.
Yes, nothing has changed since last week. This is the route we want to go. You've got paperwork in front of you. I'll entertain any questions. I'll try my best to answer them. It's not my not my field of expertise, but I have my little bit of it.
Questions from board members?
Model procurement, are they on like a?
They are integration partners is a technology reseller or whatever.
Anyone else? If there's no other comment or questions, I'll accept a motion to approve the purchase of security cameras from Lincoln County High School. Bruce makes the motion, Ricky seconds, vote, Gloria,
Yes.
Etta,
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Ricky. Yes, sir. I vote yes also. 7B, Branscombe Construction Pay App number 1, Mr. Yaden.
That's just, like I explained last week, that's first payment, right? Basically, we're paying some interest and some fees there. We've got the project started out there, and that would be the first payment on that.
Went out there the other day and saw they got everything getted out of there.
Yeah,
So
got to get it out. We've got the wood, the dust collector out of there, and we're starting to make some progress.
Any other questions?
Has anybody followed up with the teacher just to see how
Yeah,
he
he's
thinks
been
things
in
are
the middle.
going?
He's right there because his classroom's right there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he's in the middle there.
So he's happy and.
Yeah, I mean, we're moving along, which of course not as fast as you want. He should be ready for school next fall.
If there's no further questions or comments, I will accept a motion to approve the Branscombe Construction Pay App number 1 in the amount of $33,300. Motion Ricky, second by Bruce, vote Etta.
Yes.
Vote Gloria.
Yes.
All right, vote Bruce.
Yes.
Ricky.
Yes, sir.
And I vote yes also. 7C, Mowing and Health Services bid, Leanne Smith.
We opened bids for mowing services for the 2022 mowing season, and the following bids were received. This is a per mowing price: Greenscapes, $1,690, Kendall Johnson, $1,649, and Montgomery Landscaping, $2,005. And it was Mr. Gady's request that we go with the low bid, which would be for Kendall Johnson for the 2022 mowing season.
Okay, Health Services also.
I will defer to Tracy on the health services. You have a recommendation for the health services bid?
My recommendation would be Healthy Kids Clinic. And Mr. Rowe, I believe, did a survey with principals.
Yeah, I sent that by email. I've not seen that. One of the principals responded that they feel that Healthy Kids Clinic would be better for the kids in Lincoln County.
So when I was looking at it, it said Family Medical Centers. Is that the same as Healthy Kids?
Cumberland Family Medical Center is the organization's name, but their school-based is Healthy Kids.
So does the motion need to say Healthy Kids Clinic or is Family Medical Centers?
It's Cumberland Family.
Medical? So it needs to say Cumberland Family Medical?
Okay.
So their proposal was that the district would pay 40% and they would cover 60% of salary plus fringe for the school nurses that they would have in place.
Do you know approximately what that commitment is?
Well, based on the figures when we had them previously, it would be around $125,000 for a year. As Tracy said, we don't have these employees in place right now, so it's kind of hard to put a specific number on salaries until those people are hired.
Can this be ESSER funds? Can this be used on it?
Yes, we can use ESSER funds for this.
Questions on either the mowing or the choice for health services for our district?
Just a question or two on the on the health services. So what was the issues with Healthy Kids the last time we got rid of them? What was recommended to get rid of them?
There wasn't a whole lot of issues. The only other thing that ever happened is that sometimes we wouldn't have nurse coverage, which was nowhere near the issue we've had the last 2 years with nurse coverage, but that was the only issue. The reason that we went with the other one was because it was free. And we just thought we should try it because it was free.
Anyone else?
I've just heard from some parents that are really happy with Family Health. One, diabetes was taken care of with both the insurance, and the other one, the sports physicals. But, I mean, they're happy with whatever we do if it's comparable. But I just wanted to let you know that I don't know how other parents feel about it, but I did hear from some.
We have some really good nurses right now. I mean, it's not the quality of care that our nurses are giving that we hired. We have some very good nurses. They care about our kids.
What?
I know in some of the emails, there's something about a 3-year contract, so.
It's renewable for up to 3 years.
Okay, up to 3.
It's a year-by-year contract.
It was
renewable for
before
up to
3
3
years.
I reviewed the contract. It's a renewable contract of 3 years. However, there's a termination clause for both parties, whether it's the provider or the board. That just provides for a 30-day written notice prior to the school year. Actually, any 30-day written notice to terminate the contract. So we'd be able to, if the board chose to go in a different direction, we would just issue out a written notice to the current provider stating the last day which they provide services and terminate as long as it's prior to 30 days or more than 30 days from our notice.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. If not, I will accept a motion to accept the bid from Cumberland Family Medical Centers for school health services and Kendall Johnson for mowing. Ricky makes the motion, second. I will second. Vote. Gloria?
Yes.
Etta?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes, sir.
I vote yes also. 7D, advertisement for bids. Leanne Smith.
I'm asking for permission to advertise for bids for the following categories: bus parts and supplies, bank depository services, and school pictures.
Any question or comment? All right. If there are none, I will accept a motion to approve advertising and accepting sealed bids for bus parts and supplies, bank depository services, and school pictures. Bruce makes the motion. Etta seconds. Vote. Gloria?
Yes.
Etta?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Ricky? Yes, sir. I vote yes also. 7E, renewal of contracts. Leanne Smith.
I'm asking to approve the renewal of each of these contracts for 1 year. Life Touch for yearbooks, middle school and high school. CNN Vending for vending machine. American Fire and Security for fire protection. Guardian Exterminating for pest control. For public services for garbage pickup. In Vivo for drug testing, and Pepsi for cold drink vending. I did check with people that work with each of these, you know, with Darren on anything that's facilities related, with the high school and middle school on the yearbook advisors to make sure they were good, you know, and so on and so forth. So I followed up kind of with each category to make sure everybody's good in the district with maintaining these.
Question or comment? If there are none, I would ask for a motion to approve the renewal of contracts for 1 year with Life Touch, CNN Vending, American Fire and Security, Guardian Exterminating, Republic Services, in Vivo, and Pepsi. Bruce makes the motion. Etta seconds. Vote. Gloria? Etta?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Ricky? Yes, sir. I vote yes also. 7F, the MOU with Family Scholar House. Mr. Rowe?
Yes, I would recommend that the board approve the MOA with Family Scholar House to provide the services that are listed there in the meeting for you at no cost to the school district.
Question or comment? If there are none, I will accept a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with Family Scholar House. Ricky makes the motion. Second.
Second.
Etta seconds. Vote. Gloria?
Yes.
Etta?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Ricky? Yes, sir. I vote yes also. 7G, budget revision for van purchase, Ms. Hahn.
We submitted the van purchase. They told us to go ahead and purchase the van. So we purchased it for $25,000. There was $1,220 extra. And so we just have to reclass that into supplies. That's what we're asking for.
Questions or comments? If there are none, I would ask for a motion to approve the early childhood budget revision of $1,220.
I make a motion.
Gloria makes a motion, second. Ricky seconds. Vote. Gloria,
Yes.
Etta,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Ricky. Yes, sir. I vote yes also. 7H, literacy tutor at Houstonville Elementary, Mr. Ledford.
Yeah, like we talked about last week, it's basically a partnership between Kentucky AmeriCorps and then our division of Frisky. And helps us get a tutor we're using for a little bit of learning loss, COVID related, focusing on literacy, some phonics stuff, focused with a small group of students and mostly second and third grade, but doing a lot to fill in some gaps there that we've seen. So trying to address those.
And the total cost of that will be covered by those two folks you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it's a partnership between us and them. They put up some and then we match it.
Okay.
And pays the
So
sales.
it's a match deal. Right. Question or comment?
Is this like a new position, or is it a position that like we have to create, or is it just?
We've got it this year, and then I think what we're requesting here is like an extension to go into next year for it. So I don't know that it existed before this year. I think it's new to Houstonville anyway. I don't know if there was some more across the district or not.
I don't think we employ them.
Okay.
They're employed through the AmeriCorps
Through
program and we
AmeriCorps.
pay AmeriCorps. That's correct.
If I understand it, if I'm not mistaken, the matching part, we can use ESSER funds to do the match.
We will use ESSER funds to match.
Any other question or comment?
Just what age group will this be for?
She's focused mainly on second and third grade. I don't know that it's just that, but the grant says that they wanted to keep a group of students between 15 and 30 students. So we try to keep her really focused on a small group to have a pretty big impact, but mainly second and third grade.
I think it's wonderful. If you start early with these kids.
Right, yeah.
What we need.
It's been super beneficial already. We're excited about having it again next year.
Anyone else? Okay. If there's nobody else, I will accept a motion to approve the application and acceptance of a continuation request for a literacy tutor through the Frisky AmeriCorps program at Houstonville Elementary. Bruce makes a motion, Etta seconds. Vote. Gloria,
Yes.
Etta,
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Ricky. Yes, sir. I vote yes also. 7I, Gear Up Staffing, Mr. Rowe.
Yes, Gear Up is, it's a time of the year that we need to do some hires for things they can do to help our kids. They'd like to hire some people for the school day, some substitute positions, and contract employees and peer tutors to work in the Gear Up program. All this will be funded through Gear Up, not anything in the jail fund.
Questions, comments? If there are none, I will accept a motion to approve the hire of school day substitute and contract employees and peer tutors to work in the Gear Up program. Ricky makes the motion, Etta seconds. Vote. Gloria,
Yes.
Etta,
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Ricky. Yes, sir. I vote yes also. 7J, coaching salaries and positions, Brad Smith.
Yeah, as we talked about last week, hoping to add those 2 positions to the middle school effective July 1 on all of these. That would be boys soccer and girls soccer assistant coaches, as we discussed last time. And then at the high school, 1 assistant for baseball, softball, track, and cheerleading. And then those, of course, those revised coaching stipends that we discussed last time too. Also made the change of moving those weightlifting dollar amounts into the salaries. You'll notice on the sheet, it should be there too.
It's not on the sheet.
That's all right. So basically on those, I've deleted as you all asked for, all the weightlifting
Right.
and add it to those dollar amounts, but if you all don't have that, nothing more to say, I guess.
You'd just transfer that money over into their salary from the weightlifting.
That probably just needs to get updated in this documentation, right?
Yeah.
I have it right here. If y'all have do y'all have a sheet in the thing or no?
What we have is what we had last week, so. that's what-
So, look, just to make this easier, so you'll see on that sheet, starting with football weightlifting.
Right.
And it says, assistant underneath it, right?
Right.
I deleted those 4.
Okay.
So that if you go up to the top on the first football, that jumps to 13,379 is the new total.
Would the board rather wait and postpone this or move it to the next meeting?
Let me ask you this. You're saying you're gonna do that. all
Yeah,
right?
it's done.
If they change the documentation for the minutes, would it be acceptable for you all to go ahead and make the motions tonight?
I'm okay with it. I hate to make it wait another month.
I do too. I mean,
We got other things to talk about.
I trust that you're gonna do what you say. I mean, this is just, you know.
Do you have the document? Can you print it real quick and I can go grab it off the printer? Just hand it, you all a paper
Yeah.
copy?
That'd be good.
Okay.
I don't wanna hang it up anymore. We have to.
If you want to table that and move along,
Mr.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah, let me, we're gonna move on to the next things on the agenda, and then you give us that paperwork, and then we'll make a motion, and get that done on that, okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
Yes, that's good.
Okay, all right. 7K, Head Start, Early Head Start Continuation Grant, Ms. Hahn.
Yes, I will try to make this brief as, Ms. Sneed and Mr. Rowe have sat through this already once today. It has been approved by the Policy Council, so I'll try to give you the highlights. I've made copies if you need extra, I've got them here. Basically, this is a continuation grant, so our grant was approved 5 years ago, and we just continue kind of updating every year. So it's basically the same grant that was written 5 years ago. We just kind of add the new stuff to it as that happens. So I'll just talk to you a little bit about the progress that we're making and what we've done, and if you've got questions, then I'll be glad to answer those. So the first section talks about our goals, which is basically that our children are gonna progress through to be ready for school. And the first part is talking about the teaching strategies goal, which is the state assessment that preschool uses and has to be submitted for the state. So looking at the objectives, the first objective says that they will make progress. 90% of them will be expected developmental range as assessed by teaching strategies goal in all domains. If you look on page 5, we made huge growth in all categories, above 24% in all categories except for physical. But physical was already at 67.55 when we started, so now they're up to 85.89. So they were already high. The 2 highest were literacy and math. Math is our lowest category, but we made a 37% gain between the fall and the winter, and then 38.22% gain in the literacy. So those were huge numbers for us. On page 6, and we'll talk a little bit more about why we think that happened. On page 6, that breaks this down by 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, males and females, and then IEP students. We have a significant discrepancy between our male students and our female students. And so that's come out of this data this time. So that's something we're absolutely going to focus on going forward. And then also our IEP goals, our students with IEPs. One of the reasons that we feel like that happens is they have just qualified for IEPs. Most of these kiddos did not even get into having an IEP until December, and that's just kind of gauging where they are. They're just entered our program. So looking forward to working with them and getting those, hopefully by the spring, we'll close those gaps. So pretty proud of that work. They have done a really good job. We've started really creating, we have a system with our IEPs and MTSS, which is multi-tiered systems of support. So basically our RTI program. So we're really getting tightening that up and creating some new systems within our program to really target those kiddos. We have started an initiative this year with the Kentucky Center for Mathematics. That is something that the K-5 program is doing as well. And we feel like that's a reason that some of our gains in literacy and math have happened. They take the math program and put it in books and really show us how to use books to teach math. And so they're combining both literacy and mathematics. And so that's had a huge impact on our scores so far. We're excited about that because that language and pedagogy will actually help our kiddos in kindergarten, because the kindergarten teachers are going through that training as well. Moving on to progress about our classrooms and our teachers. We have 2 education managers this year. They have done multiple walkthroughs. They have been trained in the class assessment. They are class certified, which is how Head Start gauges our progress within the classroom. They were supposed to visit us this year and do a class assessment. They canceled that due to COVID. They did not release anybody to come out. So our folks got trained in class. We have 3 folks that are trained. That is not a requirement from Head Start. We just did that because we felt like that was best for our program. And so they're starting to do those observations. And based on that feedback, we have held some class professional learning to go through each domain of that to make sure that those scores are staying high. And we do really well in those categories. We have started 30, 60, 90-day planning. That is something new for our program as well. Just gives our leadership team a real strong foundation of what to work on, and then kind of creates a system for that work in each of the following years. So those are updated weekly, because we have leadership meetings on Tuesday afternoons at 1, and everybody kind of has a piece of that. On objective 6, that's talking about attendance. I'm pretty proud of our attendance, considering COVID and what all has gone on. Our Head Start attendance has been an average of about 87.56%, which is pretty good considering COVID. Our early Head Start is around 78.42%, which is not really what we want to see. We want to see more of that. But when you think about the age of those kiddos, most of them were born during the pandemic. So they have not had exposure to any kind of germs. And so they're coming to daycare for the first time to get exposed. So a lot of that has to do with that. We had a bout with RSV, we've had some COVID, a few other things. So, and we strongly encourage those parents, to keep them home if they're sick. As far as the family engagement goals, that has been interesting with COVID, but we have offered opportunities. We're supposed to do that 3 times a year. We've tried to offer something once a month, just because we're not able to do it in person as much. So we've offered some virtual activities. We offered a Thanksgiving meal for every family that they picked up at the school. And then we offered a holiday workshop where they came in and got to shop, and we spread that out over about 3 or 4 days for schools, and had just a few families in at a time so that we could space them out. So we're still able to conduct those family activities, but it's been, we've had to get creative with COVID. They also do packed activities, which are sent home from the classroom teacher, and then they virtually provide feedback to the classroom teacher that they've completed those. Constantly keeping in contact about attendance. I think they've done an amazing job with that. We use the Remind system, and teachers contact families every day that their child is out so that we know what's going on with them. Again, we talked on page 13, I'm talking about program management goals. We want to look at a systematic approach to data analysis. We had our first data analysis protocol for the fall semester. Teachers were really intrigued by that. Had a lot of teachers that came out and realized that there were kids that we needed to do more for, so that was encouraging. And again, that goes back to our Tuesday meetings and our 30, 60, 90-day planning to make sure that we're staying on top of things. We added an additional goal this year for school readiness. We purchased the Brigance assessment system. That's not something we've had in our program before. It made sense to me, since that's our kindergarten readiness assessment, that we should be using that in our early childhood program to see if we're on track for kindergarten. During the fall assessment, 53.06% of all kindergarten bound children scored proficiently. And in the winter session, 62.74% of kindergarten bound kiddos scored in the normal limits or above gifted range. So that's a great start, but we want to make sure that those kiddos are at least 80% of those kiddos are proficient by the time they move on to kindergarten. So we've got some work ahead of us. What we did figure out is our kiddos that were coming in already pretty high, we're continuing to grow. Our kiddos that were coming in pretty low are struggling still. So we're going to do a lot of work in the next month. Actually, the 25th, we have a PD plan for targeted instructional strategies for those school readiness skills. The second objective is all of our kids. We bought Verdance for kiddos all the way from birth to kindergarten ready. And so 62% of all of our kiddos scored proficient in the fall semester and 66.13% in the winter semester. So again, that we need more growth to reach our goal. So continuing that. The most of the rest of this is just no changes, things that we have gone on with our program. We have not changed anything. And then the last section is about the governance of our program, which is you guys. So the budget is the very last section. We are at 90. It's always really high, and we always have to justify 94.84% in salary and fringe. It's always high. This includes the 2% a raise that was in the draft budget, so that incorporates that in this.
Can I add something real quick? So
Yeah.
you shared today. When they give that 2%, you've also got to pay the benefits of that 2%.
Absolutely, we're a federal program.
Yeah.
So that really, we have some folks that their benefit package is more than their salary is. So that makes a huge impact for us. But it has always consistently been that rate. They also, Head Start upped the hours for early Head Start requirement to 1,380 hours. So those folks had to pick up quite a bit of hours. And that was a requirement from Head Start. So they had to pick up a lot of contract hours. That started last year. They went to a 189-day contract. I have been able to get them back to a 185-day contract because it was very difficult on our cafeteria staff, our custodial staff, and we just added 15 minutes to the day and brought them back down to a 195-day contract for those employees. So hopefully with the 2% increase, the loss of those 4 days won't hit them in the pockets too much, but it really helped our program to just go ahead and extend those hours a little bit. The early program is 95.22% salary and fringe. I think that covers pretty much everything I was going to hit there. Right, questions about that part? Comments, concerns?
Okay.
I apologize, this is kind of late getting to you all, but our timeline to get the data that we need and the timeline to get the grant in are very close together. So you scramble kind of after that data comes in. So the second part is our TTA. This is our training and technical assistance plan. There are several, most of the trainings in here are required trainings anyway. So this doesn't change a whole lot from year to year. There are required trainings from Head Start, and then what we're targeting. Next year, we will have a literacy focus. We did the math focus this year. Next year, we plan to do a literacy focus. We've already ordered the materials, and the materials for our study will go along with what the K-5 program is doing with the Fountas of Pinnell work. That's it.
Questions or comments about the grant application continuation or the training and technical assistance plan? After 3 or 4 hours, you can come up with something you ask, I think, people. A lot of stuff.
It's just concerning, you're operating a program on 6%.
Oh, I understand that.
If we weren't in the school system, we could not exist. I mean, it just really, it wouldn't be possible. But if we weren't in the school system, we wouldn't provide benefits and, to the degree that we do. So it's always been that way. I mean, it's just tight. It gets tight. We start squeezing. And the other thing, and I'll say this, I told Mr. Rowe this today, we cannot put any more money in personnel after the fact. So we kind of have to really, I won't say pad that, but like we add a little bit extra to our insurance because we don't know until February of the next year if their insurance is going to go up, and somebody can take a $15,000 package versus a $2,400 package. So we can always move money from personnel. We just can't put more money in. So it kind of looks like there's more in there because we have to be ready to fund that insurance. But we also know we watch that very carefully because we know that surplus is coming, and we know that in February after those insurance come out. So it's not padding, we have to do it, but at the same time, I know there's more money in there than there has to be. And hopefully nobody takes those high benefit packages and then we have that extra money at the end. So that's kind of why that works out that way.
If there are no other questions, comments, I will accept a motion to approve the Early Head Start Continuation Grant.
I'll make the motion.
Gloria makes a motion, Ricky seconds. Vote, Gloria,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Ricky. Yes, sir. I vote yes also. I'm going to go ahead and revisit 7J, coaching salaries and positions. See, you added that other column on the outside. Appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, so really that first sheet was only adjusted sheet. It just printed the back there. That was part of the other one. What I'll do, I just want y'all to see those were the, moving those monies like you asked. And I will give Ms. Benson the entire document. Nothing else was modified, obviously, with that.
Thank you. Any questions or comments about coaching salaries?
This is what it was, this is what. So it's.
And they'll just probably need to come off of there.
Yeah.
Right, but if you look over on the right.
That last
side,
column.
Yeah, I know the salary.
That last column is what we can approve.
Delete the position.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. If there's no questions or comments, I will accept a motion to approve the creation of the following assistant coach positions for Lincoln County Middle School, 1 boys soccer and 1 girls soccer. For Lincoln County High School, 1 baseball, 1 softball, 1 track, and 1 cheer, and approve the revised coaching stipends. Ricky makes the motion, second.
I'll second.
Gloria seconds. Vote, Gloria,
Yes.
Etta,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Ricky.
Yes, sir.
I vote yes also. The
Mr.
one
Wynn,
that,
I want to say something. Looking at this extra duty thing, I looked at the whole sheet and I think we need to look at some of the other extra duty positions also.
are you referring to non-coaching things?
Yes,
Okay.
the whole sheet. Maybe we can look at that the next working board meeting.
Okay, we'll see where we're at on that stuff and go from there. All right. We'll take a look at it.
Appreciate it.
All right. 8A, addendum item revising the 2021-2022 school calendar. Ms. Hart.
Yes, I want to point out 2 things. Number 1, of course, we will be out next Wednesday. Congratulations to our boys basketball team. Pretty exciting win. So we will be out next Wednesday.
Ms. Hart did say it's great to be part of a winning district.
Just a little bit.
Trouble here, Mr. Rowe. Yeah, I think you're gonna get me in trouble. So, but no, we're all there. I've always worked for winners. I'll just go with that. But I've never experienced a big basketball win like that and been able to see students move on to Rupp Arena. And I just think what an amazing opportunity for, our students, our families and everything. I'm super excited. So I can't wait to go. I've never experienced that before. So pretty exciting. We are on an alternative calendar this year, which goes by, it does not hold us to the 170 instructional days. It goes by time. So we do have enough time banked up that we don't have to add a student day at the end. And the reason that I say don't add that, because we're not in the clear, as Mr. Bruce Smith will tell you, it is not unlikely to have a snow day. We've had times when March did have some snow, and as evidenced by they're calling for a snowstorm tomorrow night. So we're not in the clear yet. If you want to add an instructional day at the end of the year, we have the room to do that. So whatever you think, but I like to try to follow the calendar when at all possible so that we don't change vacation plans and things like that and throw families for a loop if we can. One other thing I want to point out, I learned summer before last when I first came to Lincoln that we did not have to approve master schedules at the schools. It's not a board item. It's actually an SBDM item, which I was not used to. And Mr. Smith and I've had that conversation that was new to both of us. So again, I called to check because we did have some schools change master schedules. So in July, I called my KDE rep just to make sure, do I need to go before the board because it's going to change our lowest number of minutes, which is what we go by. And they said, absolutely not. If it's through your councils, you're good. When you amend your calendar, that's when you would add that information in. So I want to make sure that you all notice that, because on the original calendar that you approved before those changes were made, our lowest number of minutes was 389. The high school changed their minutes, which changed what our lowest number of minutes is. So that ups us to 395. So I want to make sure that everybody caught that when you look at our instructional minutes, because since last year I was before you, I think every month amending the calendar, and I'm happy that my first time before you to amend the calendar is in March. That's quite different than how it went last year. So I just wanted to make sure you caught that as well. But those are the only changes you see on the calendar.
Questions, comments?
Sir.
If there are none, I ask for a motion to approve the revised 2021-2022 school calendar. Bruce makes a motion. Etta seconds. Vote. Gloria?
Yes.
Etta?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Ricky? Yes, sir. I vote yes also. Motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to
That we are
adjourn.
done.
What? Did I screw up again? No, that was added to the.
That was added to the
Oh,
consent agenda.
all right,
But
never
thank
mind.
you for checking up on me, man.
I was making sure these boys are gonna play some ball.
There you go, exactly. I forgot now who's made the motion. Gloria made the motion, Bruce second, vote. Etta? Gloria?
Yes.
Sorry. Bruce?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes, sir.
I vote yes also. Thank you.
I told you so. There you go.